The meeting will come to order. We are now holding a special meeting of the Fayette County School Corporation's Board of School Trustees. Will you join me in a pledge of allegiance to our flag? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we first need a motion to approve our agenda as submitted.
I so move.
Thank you, Ms. Kirshner. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Hunt. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. All right, we'll move into our action items, and I'll turn this over to you, Ms. Toller.
Thank you, Mr. Burchett. I appreciate the board entertaining a special meeting this week to approve the projects. We have 3 different items in your packet that was provided to you Tuesday evening related to summer projects. The first item are the locally prepared specifications and bid items. Mr. Green put a lot of time and effort into preparing those specifications and working with the various vendors. We are recommending 2 companies for the ceiling. Those specifications are prepared that we reserve the opportunity to award on a per site basis. So we are recommending Yaryan for the Career Center, Everton, and Maplewood. We had a new bidder this year, Black Cat. They are out of Ohio. Mr. Green checked references on them and everything came back. We're recommending them for the CHS projects. We have the concrete steps was the base bid, and that is the area that we've had a little bit of trouble with going into the swim area at the high school, the athletic. We've even blocked off part of those steps. So we'll be taking out all of those steps and replacing it. We did an alternate of an additional 100 feet. We had, additional 100 feet of curbing in that area, in that back lot over there. The original budget approved as a part of the capital projects for this was $50,000. Mr. Korn came and double checked the total feet of the curb that we needed, and it was 325 feet. So he gave us a bid of $20,000 to do that. So the total project is coming in at $42,900, which is less than the $50,000 that we had budgeted. So we're recommending getting that whole back area done up at this time. We have some boiler duct work at the middle school. Koch Mechanical was the low bid. At Frazee, we are replacing the large chiller. Koch Mechanical was the low bid on that. And at Fayette Central, Koch Mechanical was the low bid again. On the concrete steps and curb, we are not recommending the low bidder as we have had some performance issues with them in the past, so we are recommending the second lowest bidder. Additionally, we bid the air handling system at WTCC. We're asking that all of the bids be rejected on that, and we will go back out and seek quotes for the restoration of the current unit. The bids were just way more than we wanted to spend on this project. It really only covers the office areas at the Career Center, and the cost was close to the cost of like setting a chiller at an elementary school. So we're going to go back and see if we can get some competitive quotes on restoring the units that's there and hopefully come in cheaper. Additionally, we took competitive quotes for the carpeting, which are on the 3rd page of this document. Wholesale carpet, again, was the lowest and most responsive bidder. We are not awarding all of the projects. We're not doing Fayette Central's library. We are not doing the CHS cardio entry because Wholesale Carpet bid that as the whole room and it's only the entry. We are seeking a quote just for the entry and we'll award that separately. Additionally, Maplewood requested that room 118 be removed, and we are getting a quote for room 102. So that's item 1 in your summer projects. The next item in the packet is we have had several maintenance issues with our boilers last fall. Therefore, we did not renew our service agreement for boilers and chillers with Resolve Tech, but instead established a relationship with Johnson Controls for this routine maintenance. They have installed most of our large chillers over the last few years. However, they're not going to be recommended for the Frazee project this year because they were not the lowest bidder. As a part of their maintenance, we knew that we'd had some performance issues with Resolve Tech. Therefore, we have some quotes for the needed repairs on the chillers that we have to date. More come in almost every other day as they're going out and inspecting this year of things that, maintenance that should not have been done, and now the equipment, the chillers are not in good repair. Thankfully, most of the cost is minor. So I am recommending that you allow these needed repairs to come from the emergency allocation in capital projects. These are the identified ones, and if it would be your pleasure, I would appreciate an authorization. As any new ones come in, I'm allowed to take those from the emergency as well, so that we can get the chillers up and running before the cooling season's needed. Otherwise, we'd have to have another special meeting or wait till May to get the chillers in good repair. The third and final item is the bids for the Spartan Bowl floor, Everton roof, CHS vestibule, and CH High School water loop plumbing projects. This is the final step of the plumbing at the high school, and we'll use up the balance of the QZAB funds, which have to be spent by this summer. Lenny Brim from Schmidt and Associates is here. I don't know if you want to talk about the projects and the process.
Just answer questions if you got any. Basically, we're, like Jane says, it's an extension of last year's work. We are replacing the galvanized steel mains in the corridors with new copper, and then keeping the branch lines as they were. We don't want to get into doing all that work because then you're really opening up a can of worms. It just completes the loop, the domestic water loop for the entire building, the mains, through all the corridors back to the main water source at the boiler room.
It will not require the high school to be shut down. It's a small section of the building, so they will be able to have summer school. Additionally, on the Spartan Bowl floor, the project includes the floor replacement, all at grade 1. Taking up the floor, taking up the slab underneath, putting in new drainage tiles, a new slab, and a new floor. Very big project, will not be complete by the start of school. Our expectation is it'll be complete by the start of basketball season. So, the Everton roof, as you can see from the comparison, shingles are not, I mean, a little over half the cost of a metal roof, but we've had a lot of conversation over time about, you know, is a metal roof better down there? At that cost, and all indications from the architects are the life on a metal roof is really not longer than a shingle roof. So with that being the case, it's hard to recommend spending almost twice as much money. So these are a commercial high-grade shingle that they have specified. So we are recommending the shingle roof. The CHS vestibule is the project that will allow for passive security at the high school, whereby people will come in and enter an entryway and not be able to just get into the main building. Eventually, the doors will go on lockdown in conjunction with the alarm system at the high school, or the bell system at the high school. So there is a separate leg of this project. This is getting the structure in place And then we'll be getting a quote from Ron Best for the security piece of that, since they do our security here and have done the, the spike badges and all of that. So at the very back is a summary of the projects, the larger projects, the funding source, the original budget, and the actual cost. You will see all projects are coming in at less than what we had originally budgeted. Therefore, it's my recommendation that you approve all of the summer projects as outlined previously. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them, or John or Lenny.
Do we have contingencies in case we get into digging under, I'm thinking particularly under the Spartan Bowl, that if we get under there and find something different than what we think is going to be there, do we have some contingencies available, contingency funds available if this goes, once they start digging, they find more than they have anticipated?
We had originally budgeted $500,000. The project's coming in at $310,900. We would have a little capacity there. However, we are going all, and there's $10,000 in the bid for contingencies that would go first. But we are taking up the whole floor down to the bays, running new trenching. So
Actually, we're going to go in, remove the existing pipe, take out the top 6 inches of existing fill, put in new fill, recompact it, put in the new drains, and then start with a new slab and then floor on top of that.
So it's pretty much soup to nuts, we hope.
Well, we all.
And we hope
in
it lasts
addition
a
to that,
really
we're also-
long time.
In addition to that, we're putting a vapor barrier between the stone and the concrete. We're going to put a heavy metal plastic down so we shouldn't have any filter in, come up through the slab then. We're doing a little bit better vapor barrier than what's there now.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay, then I believe we're ready to move for action then. It's, I hear a motion that we approve of these projects as presented by Ms. Tollett.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm finished.
You're finished? I'd like to make a motion that we accept the bids for the summer projects.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Spurlock. Any further discussion?
So these are just things that need to be done. If we don't do them, we're gonna have bigger problems down the road, so.
Pay for it in the long run. Okay, any other discussion? Then all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and the motion carries. I believe that ends our action items.
B there.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, sorry. We need approval of a written request for a waiver from the implementation of the protected taxes for taxes payable in 2015. Ms. Tollett, it's you again.
Thank you, Mr. Burchett. The board authorized this last year. We had, this Department of Local Government Finance gave a 3-year option to schools to continue to spread the circuit breaker loss to all of the funds. Debt service, transportation, bus replacement, capital projects, and then the pension debt. If we do not do this, the capital projects and the transportation fund will share all of the $1 million circuit breaker impact that we have. Our capital projects fund is already underfunded. We have a lot of needs in our capital projects. So last year I recommended, and I continue to recommend this year, that we allow each fund to take its appropriate share of the circuit breaker impact, thereby keeping our capital projects fund at the highest level that we can. I'm happy to entertain any questions.
Okay, do you have any questions concerning that? Ms. Kirschner, you look puzzled.
Well, I'm just trying to kind of figure out, so we have, this will spread out costs so we do not deplete one fund, which clearly we do not need to deplete.
Our circuit breaker on the last 2 pages for the corporation as a whole is $1,054,000. Debt services share is 4,000, pension debt is 405, capital projects is 536, transportation is 449, bus replacement is 63,000. What your author would be authorizing is for the circuit breaker to follow this schedule here. Otherwise, the debt service, the pension debt would become 0, and transportation and capital projects would have to pick up that load. So it's not devastating to any of the funds, but as long as we can keep all of the funds paying their own share of the circuit breaker, we'll be better off.
Maybe another way to say that is your approval allows us to have some local control over how we're dealing with the loss rather than someone dictating how we're going to do that. We'll do it in a way that makes the most sense for Fayette County Schools.
Are there any other questions or concerns? All right, then I guess we're ready for a motion to approve this written request for a waiver from the implementation of protected taxes for taxes payable in 2015.
It's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is.
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
All right, thank you, Ms. Foy.
And I will second that motion, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Any other discussion? All right, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? And the motion carries. Now I believe that completes everything you need to do today, so I
You'd be
need...
correct, sir.
Pardon?
You'd be correct.
Good. I need a motion to adjourn.
Well, I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Boy, that was some-
I need a second, please. Thank you, Mr. Hunt. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you very much.